What's up, guys? I have some exciting news for the Swift blockchain community. And to learn all about it, we have to take a closer look into China. So, check this out. There is a project called Pchain that claims to be China's Ethereum 2.0. To make matters more interesting, Pchain decided to make Swift Pay the first official wallet for its ecosystem. So, that makes me wonder, if Pchain is truly China's Ethereum 2.0 protocol, would that make Swift blockchain one of the go-to DeFi ecosystems for China? If so, then that will make sense, and I could see how Swift blockchain is potentially part of the BRICS alliance. Now, let's take a look into Pchain, Swift blockchain, and how they are related. But before I do, let me give you another piece of information that I think is truly valuable, and that is Dr. Fang Cao, who is actually the founder of China's Ethereum 2.0 Pchain, made the first financial transaction on blockchain in China back in 2016. All right. So if that got your attention, then please do me a quick favor, hit the like and subscribe button, and let's talk about Swift and Pchain. Now, not only did Pchain choose Swift blockchain as the first official wallet back in 2019, they also chose Swift's CEO, Rambolan, to become a Pchain advisor back in May 10th, 2018. So that was a year before Swift blockchain was integrated with Pchain. All right. So now do me a favor. If you're familiar with Swift blockchain and you visited their website, does this image look anything like Swift blockchain's preferred designs? You know, just by looking at it, I see a lot of similarities, right? The way the picture is created, it's almost the same thing as Swift blockchain, and that is because Pchain and Swift blockchain have been working together for some time. Now, as you guys can see here on the screen, this was posted on June 20th, 2019, a day after Pchain became the first public blockchain to support Libra by their patented cross-chain technology. And if you guys remember what Libra was, that was actually a blockchain project from Facebook that never really came to be. But back in 2020, uh, this project, Pchain, was actually connecting or supporting Libra. But Pchain was not the only project with these intents. You see, Swift Blockchain announced back in June 18, 2019, that it was working to support Libra, right? Now, is that a coincidence that both Pchain and Swift Blockchain made a similar post literally a day after each other? That really has me thinking. But I mean, based on the research, I know that they're connected. And I'm going to show you how and why. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and talk about Pchain's co-founder, Dr. Fang Cao, so that I can tell you guys how closely connected he is, not only to the Chinese region, but the government and many other influential companies such as IBM. That's right. So as you guys can see here, he is based out of Shanghai, China, and he has a primary organization called Pchain, right? And that's another thing to talk about, but we'll make another video for that. Now, if you guys pause the image or pause the video, you guys can read into this text and you'll learn a couple things about Dr. Fang Cao. But what I'm going to do is I will summarize them in the next slide. So let's take a look, guys. But so far, before we continue the video, let me know what you guys think about Swift blockchain and how you guys are reacting to this update that I'm posting, providing for you guys, which I think has never been posted online, in a format of a YouTube video. So y'all let me know, please. And okay, so back to Dr. Fang Cao. Let's go ahead and pinpoint some of his accomplishments And first of all, he is actually the inventor of the first international blockchain patent from China. He is also the co founder of China Ledger, which is the most influential blockchain alliance of China. Yes, China Ledger has connections to the Chinese government and other important companies. So that's one point that we have to keep in mind. And why does that matter? Because Swift blockchain is connected to Pchain, which is connected to China's government and China Ledger. That's why it matters. Now let's go ahead and move down to the second point. Dr. Fang Cao is the chief scientist of Blockchain Application Committee in China Federation of Logistics and Purchasing. And that is a long title, but essentially, this is the first government association in the industry. And he's actually the senior fellow of this research alliance. All right, so now let's move on to the third point. Dr. Feng Cao successfully accomplished the first blockchain based asset earning rights transfer in the world back in September 2016, which, as I mentioned earlier before, that was actually the first financial blockchain transaction in China. Now that's big. He was the first, right? Now, he's also, he's won a couple achievements about three times for within IBM. He's actually an ex chief scientist of internet finance and the co chair of the patent review board in IBM Research China. And he has 22 papers in ACM, IEEE, and he has over 30 plus international patents. Now, this might seem a little bit of jargon, and we most of us are probably not familiar with these organizations, but I know that you guys see IBM and you guys know how important it is in the technology realm, right? And even in just in general. So that's who the co-founder of China. I'm sorry, the co-founder of China's Ethereum 2.0 is, and what he's done and what he's connected to. So how do we move on from here, right? And what I think we could do is let's look into China Ledger. What is it, right? Because after all, Dr. Fang Cao from Pchain is a co-founder of China Ledger, so we must take a deeper look. Now, if you guys pause for a second, you'll see that China Ledger is a corporation that is a leading financial blockchain open source platform in China, which is formed from an alliance of 11 regional commodity exchanges and the exchange of financial assets. Pchain, which is partnered with Swift Blockchain, is at the final stage of a partnership with China Ledger, which gives Pchain great prospects compared to new blockchain projects. China Ledger also cooperates with the Chinese government on several projects, providing Pchain opportunities to conclude all important partnerships. So I'm going to stop it right there. Let's connect the dots again. Pchain's co founder is Dr. Feng Cao, who is a co founder of China Ledger. China Ledger is connected to the Chinese government, which puts Pchain in a place where it could draw resources from the government and make important partnerships. Now, moving over to Swift Blockchain, Swift Blockchain, its wallet got connected to Pchain. It was the first official wallet that Pchain decided to use. Now, both of these companies are connected or were supporting Facebook's Libra, and Swift Blockchain CEO is an advisor to Pchain, which has connections to the Chinese government. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, I did mention that Dr. Feng Cao from Pchain has several international patents, and he posted online uh, back in 2015 this right here, okay? And the title of the invention that he's claiming to be the original inventor of is the consensus-based reputation tracking of in online marketplaces. Now, to be honest, I know nothing about this, but I thought that I would just share it here. Maybe I'll take a look into it at a later time, or maybe you guys could help me out in some way, or just keep me posted on what you guys find. And if you guys want to take a deeper look, here is the IBM docket number, which I looked up myself, but I couldn't find anything on it. So if you guys find something, let me know. Post it here in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter X at CryptoXRoads and let me know what you guys find. But here, let's go take a look into Pchain, which actually later rebranded to this company called Plian, Plian. And they posted on May 26, 2018, that Dr. Fang Cao, the founder of Pchain, was invited to make a speech about blockchain financial application scene at an event called Big Data Industry Expo back in 2018 that was hosted in China. Now, within this post, you can see that a Chinese news media posted that Chinese President Xi Jinping on Saturday called for an enhanced international exchange and cooperation on the development of the big data industry in a congratulatory letter to the China International Big Data Industry Expo 2018, which happens to be the event that Dr. Feng Cao was invited to be a guest in, right, to make a speech. So here, if this is true, paints a bigger picture or clears the picture that Pchain, aka Plian, is connected to the Chinese government or is in or has connections to it, you know. So then that's one piece of evidence, right? Let's take a look at another one where Dr. Fang Cao from Pchain was actually interviewed by a journalist from CBN, which is China Business News. And that was in April 2018. So what I notice is all these resources that I'm showing you guys right now all come from either from 2018 to 2020. And it seems that this was the time that Pchain was most active. And when you go back and look at Swift blockchain, these were also the times that Swift blockchain was extraordinary with its presentations, connections to banks, and it was a time when Swift blockchain was releasing a lot of alpha compared to today. We really don't see many announcements or partnerships outside of like listings. But back in 2018 to 2020, 2021 is when Swift blockchain was telling the world everything that they were doing. Well, not everything, but they were talking a lot more than they are today. But anyways, let's go back to this Swift blockchain and Pchain connection. And it appears that in sometime around 20, man, I lost the date, but I think it was 2019, maybe 2020. Pchain hosted this event and they invited a couple of individuals, but the ones that stuck out to me are Christina Chen, who is the CMO of Swift blockchain, and this other gentleman who is the head of CSDN. So I looked him up. It turns out that his name is Meng Yan. He is the VP or was the VP of content and blockchain business at CSDN, right? But really what caught my attention is that he actually worked for IBM China from March 2009 all the way to April 2017. So he was there in IBM for a long time. Now, the only reason I bring this up is because Dr. Fang Cao used to work at IBM, got awarded 3 times within the company, and has over 30 international patents. So this might be how Pchain is putting the pieces together, putting Swift blockchain in the same events and stages as people who work with IBM and potentially work with the Chinese government. So looking at everything, guys, like I'm thinking, okay, through Pchain, if this project, I mean, I see it on Twitter, but I don't see it as active as before. Maybe they're keeping things on the low. But if Pchain is still active. Swift blockchain may be able to talk to that company and strategize, see how the Chinese government is moving, see if they can get connected with the Chinese government, maybe even IBM in China, and even become part of the BRICS alliance, right? Because after all, Pchain did claim to be China's Ethereum 2.0. Pchain chose Swift Blockchain's wallet to be the first wallet for their ecosystem. So it's possible that Swift Blockchain could be China's go-to DeFi ecosystem, right? And that could be probably used in the BRICS alliance. But guys, these are just my thoughts. Don't take it for granted. None of this is financial advice. All I can say is do your own research. And I think that if you do crypto casually, then it's very likely that you can become a crypto casualty. So, with that said, make sure to do your own research, know what you're getting yourself into. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.